Each morning is a new beginning, not because life becomes easier, but because the mind can be trained. Stoicism teaches us one simple truth: we do not control events, but we do control how we meet them. Gratitude is not weakness, it is strength, it is clarity, it is discipline of the mind. Here are 8 Stoic gratitude practices to begin every morning and change how you live. Waking up is not a small thing. It feels normal only because it happens often. Habit hides value. Each morning the eyes open, breath moves in and out, and the mind returns to the world. This is not guaranteed. Nature does not promise another day. Many plans end in sleep. Many voices go silent overnight. To wake up is to be given time again without having earned it. This thought should slow the mind before it runs toward worry or desire. The Stoic way begins with reality. Reality says this moment exists. Yesterday is finished. Tomorrow is unknown. Only now is real, and waking up places you directly inside it. Before judging the day, before naming it good or bad, the simple fact remains: you are here. This is the first thing worth gratitude. Not excitement, not pleasure, but awareness. Awareness means choice. Choice means freedom of response. The mind often wakes already complaining. It thinks of duties, problems, effort. It asks why it must rise again and face the same struggles. This habit weakens the spirit. Gratitude corrects it. Instead of asking why you must wake, ask why you were allowed to. The body works without permission. The heart beats on its own. The lungs breathe even while the mind sleeps. These are not controlled by effort. They are given. To notice this is to become humble, and humility clears the mind. Waking up also means you are still part of the human task. You still have a role to play. You may not control the size of the role, but you control how you perform it. Each day offers chances to practice patience, honesty, courage, and restraint. These cannot be practiced while asleep. Being awake gives you another chance to train the soul. This is not a burden, it is an opportunity. Training builds strength. Strength builds calm. Some wake up in pain. Some wake up in fear. Gratitude does not deny this. Stoicism does not ask you to lie to yourself. It asks you to see clearly. Even in pain, waking up means the struggle is not over. There is still room to endure with dignity. There is still space to respond with reason instead of panic. Endurance is not passive, it is active strength. Gratitude for waking up does not mean liking your situation. It means respecting your ability to meet it. Morning gratitude is also a reminder of limits. One day, there will be a last morning. Knowing this sharpens attention. It makes small things visible: light through a window, quiet before noise, the first breath. These moments pass quickly when the mind rushes forward. Gratitude holds the mind still long enough to notice them. This stillness is power. A calm beginning protects the rest of the day. When you wake up, you stand at the edge of possibility. Not endless possibility, but real narrow human possibility. You can act well or poorly. You can waste the day or use it. You can let events rule you or rule your response. None of this exists without waking up. Gratitude for this moment is not emotion, it is recognition. Recognition that life continues, that duty remains, that reason is still available. To wake up is to be trusted with time again. Time is not owned, it is loaned. How you spend it reflects who you are becoming. Beginning the day with gratitude sets the direction of the mind. It reminds you that existence itself is already a gift, before comfort, before success, before approval. This awareness creates steadiness. From steadiness comes clear action. From clear action comes peace, not because life becomes easy, but because the mind stops fighting what has already been given. To appreciate what is enough is to free the mind from endless hunger. The desire for more never rests. When one thing is gained, another appears. The Stoic understands that this hunger is not caused by need, but by judgment. The mind tells itself that what it has is insufficient. This belief creates unrest. Gratitude corrects this belief by returning attention to what already serves its purpose. Enough does not mean luxury. It means what supports life and allows the soul to function well. Food that nourishes, water that sustains, shelter that protects, clothing that covers. These are simple things, yet they carry great value. When they are present, the foundation of life is secure. The Stoic trains the mind to recognize this foundation before reaching for excess. Excess weakens discipline. Simplicity strengthens it. The mistake many make is comparing their life to the life of others. Comparison distorts judgment. It shifts focus from function to appearance. Another may have more, but more does not equal better. A richer table does not guarantee a calmer mind. A larger home does not promise rest. When the mind compares, it forgets its own needs and adopts Seneca's desires. Gratitude brings the mind back to its own condition and asks a simple question: does what I have meet my needs today? Appreciating enough also builds resilience. When the mind learns to live well with little, it fears loss less. Fear of loss is one of the greatest sources of anxiety. If peace depends on possessions, peace becomes fragile. The Stoic seeks unbreakable peace. This comes from training the mind to see value in what remains, not in what might disappear. Gratitude for enough prepares the soul for change. Because change is certain, there is also dignity in accepting sufficiency. Wanting endlessly can turn a person restless and bitter. It creates impatience with the present and resentment toward fate. Accepting enough does not mean refusing improvement. It means improving without desperation. It means working toward better conditions while remaining calm if they do not arrive. This balance is strength. Gratitude holds ambition in check and prevents it from becoming greed. The body teaches this lesson naturally. It does not ask for excess. It asks for rest, nourishment, and care. When these needs are met, it functions well. The same is true for the mind. Overloading it with desire, worry, and envy exhausts it. Simplicity restores it. Gratitude for enough quiets mental noise and allows clear thought. Clear thought leads to wise action. Many suffer not because they lack, but because they refuse to see what they have. They eat but feel poor because the meal is simple. They sleep indoors but feel deprived because the space is modest. These judgments are choices, they can be changed. The Stoic chooses to judge things by their usefulness, not their status. If something fulfills its role, it is worthy of gratitude. Appreciating enough also creates independence. When happiness depends on fewer things, it becomes harder to take away. External events lose their power to disturb. The mind becomes stable, rooted in reason rather than circumstance. This stability is not indifference. It is calm awareness. It allows one to enjoy improvements without clinging to them, and to endure losses without collapse. Each morning offers a chance to practice this gratitude. Look at what supports your day before noticing what is missing. Train the mind to say, "This is sufficient for now." This statement does not close the door to effort. It opens the door to peace while effort continues. When enough is recognized, the present moment stops feeling like an obstacle and begins to feel like solid ground. The body is the first tool given to you. It carries the mind, allows action, and connects you to the world. Yet it is often treated with impatience or contempt. Many notice the body only when it fails, when it aches, slows down, or does not match an imagined ideal. A Stoic view begins with acceptance. This is the body you have been assigned. It is neither a reward nor a punishment. It is an instrument, and gratitude begins by recognizing its service. The body works without asking for praise. While the mind sleeps, it repairs itself. It breathes, circulates blood, and keeps balance. These processes happen quietly, without effort or command. To wake up inside a functioning body is already a benefit. Even when the body is imperfect or injured, it still performs countless tasks correctly. Gratitude trains the mind to see function instead of flaw. Pain and weakness are part of being human. Complaining about them adds a second burden to the first. Stoicism does not demand ignoring discomfort. It demands not being ruled by it. When the body hurts, the mind still has a choice in how it responds. Gratitude for the body does not mean pretending it is strong at all times. It means respecting its limits and working within them. Acceptance preserves energy that resistance wastes. The body is temporary. It changes, ages, and eventually fails. This knowledge is not meant to frighten but to clarify. Knowing the body will not last forever encourages care without attachment. You maintain it because it is useful, not because it defines your worth. Gratitude keeps this balance. It prevents neglect, but also prevents obsession. The Stoic cares for the body as a guardian cares for borrowed property. Discipline toward the body is an expression of gratitude. Eating with moderation, resting when needed, moving with purpose. These actions are not about pleasure or appearance. They are about readiness. A well-cared-for body allows the mind to focus on higher duties. When the body is ignored or abused, the mind becomes distracted and weak. Gratitude naturally leads to responsible behavior, not indulgence. Many judge their bodies harshly by comparing them to others. This comparison is pointless. Bodies differ in strength, speed, shape, and endurance. None of these define character. Virtue does not depend on physical perfection. A weak body can house a strong mind. Gratitude helps break the habit of comparison by shifting focus from how the body looks to what it enables. Walking, lifting, speaking, working. These are real measures of value. The body also serves as a training ground for the mind. Fatigue teaches patience. Hunger teaches restraint. Illness teaches humility. Each physical challenge presents a chance to practice calm and reason. The Stoic does not curse these lessons. They are part of the natural order. Gratitude turns hardship into instruction. Without a body, these lessons would not exist. Respecting the body also means not demanding more than it can give. Pushing it endlessly leads to breakdown. Neglecting it leads to decay. Wisdom lies in balance. Gratitude guides this balance because it encourages listening rather than forcing. The body speaks through tension, pain, and exhaustion. Hearing these signals is not weakness. It is intelligence. Even when the body fails, gratitude can remain. A person confined, injured, or ill still has awareness, still has the ability to choose thoughts and actions. The body may limit movement, but it does not limit virtue. Recognizing this prevents despair. Gratitude shifts focus from loss to remaining capacity. It keeps the mind aligned with what is still possible. Each day lived inside the body is a cooperation between flesh and reason. One supports the other. Gratitude strengthens this relationship. It reduces conflict and creates steadiness. When the body is treated with respect, the mind remains clear. When the mind remains clear, actions become measured. From this harmony comes endurance, discipline, and quiet confidence in facing whatever the day demands. Challenges are not interruptions to life. They are part of it. Expecting a life without difficulty is a misunderstanding of nature. Everything that grows is tested. Fire hardens metal, pressure shapes stone. In the same way, difficulty shapes character. The Stoic does not ask for an easy path. The Stoic asks for the strength to walk whatever path appears. When something goes wrong, the first reaction is often resistance. The mind says this should not be happening. This thought creates suffering. The event itself may be outside control, but the judgment about it is not. Stoicism teaches that challenges are neutral until the mind labels them as bad. Gratitude removes this label. It sees the challenge as material for growth rather than an enemy to defeat. Each challenge offers a lesson, even if the lesson is not immediately clear. Impatience trains patience. Loss trains detachment. Fear trains courage. Without hardship, these qualities remain weak and untested. Gratitude reframes struggle as training. Training is not comfortable, but it is purposeful. Purpose gives meaning to discomfort and prevents the mind from collapsing into self-pity. Many people waste energy wishing for different circumstances. This energy cannot change reality. Acceptance redirects energy toward action. Gratitude helps acceptance by reminding the mind that the situation, however difficult, exists now and must be faced. Resisting reality delays response. Accepting reality allows reason to operate. From reason comes effective action. Challenges also reveal what is within your control. When things go smoothly, control is invisible. When things break, priorities become clear. You may not control outcomes, but you control effort, attitude, and integrity. Gratitude for challenges highlights this truth. It shifts attention away from what is lost and toward what remains under your command. Some challenges arrive repeatedly. The same problem returns in different forms. This is not punishment. It is repetition until learning occurs. Avoiding the lesson only prolongs it. Gratitude changes the question from "why is this happening" to "what is this asking of me?" This question invites responsibility instead of blame. Responsibility strengthens the will. Pain is often part of challenge. Stoicism does not deny pain, it denies despair. Pain is a signal, not a verdict. The mind decides whether pain becomes suffering. Gratitude does not remove pain, but it prevents the mind from adding fear and anger to it. A calm mind can endure more than a fearful one. Challenges also remind you of impermanence. Comfort can create illusion, making life seem stable and predictable. Difficulty breaks this illusion. It shows how quickly conditions change. This awareness sharpens appreciation for what is present and prepares the mind for future change. Gratitude for challenges builds readiness, not shock. Facing difficulty well also influences others. Calm endurance sets an example. Complaining spreads weakness. Gratitude spreads steadiness. The Stoic understands that private attitude has public impact. Meeting challenges with composure contributes to the order of the whole, even if the effort is unseen. There is also freedom hidden inside challenge. When things are taken away, attachments are exposed. Letting go becomes possible. A simpler life, a clearer focus, a stronger sense of what truly matters often follow hardship. Gratitude recognizes this clearing effect. It sees how difficulty removes distraction and forces alignment with essentials. Each challenge is temporary, but the strength gained from it remains. Skills learned in hardship transfer to future trials. Patience once earned does not disappear. Courage once tested becomes reliable. Gratitude keeps the mind focused on this long view. It understands that comfort teaches little, while challenge teaches much. To welcome challenges does not mean seeking suffering. It means not running from it when it appears. It means standing upright and meeting reality without resentment. Gratitude transforms struggle into cooperation with nature rather than resistance to it. Through this cooperation, the mind grows steadier, the will becomes firmer, and the person becomes harder to disturb by whatever comes next. Time is the one resource given equally to all and taken without warning. It cannot be saved, borrowed, or recovered. Once a moment passes, it belongs to the past. The Stoic reflects on this often, not to create fear, but to sharpen awareness. Gratitude for time brings urgency without panic and focus without stress. It reminds the mind that each day is a portion of life already spent. Most people live as if time is endless. They delay what matters and waste attention on what does not. This habit dulls the mind. When time is taken for granted, life becomes careless. Gratitude corrects this by making each hour visible. To be thankful for time is to respect it. Respect leads to intention. Intention gives direction to action. Time is not owned, it is assigned. You wake up with a certain number of hours and no promise of tomorrow. How these hours are used reflects your values. The Stoic does not measure time by pleasure or profit, but by use. Time spent acting with reason and virtue is never wasted. Time spent in distraction and resentment is lost, even if it feels busy. Gratitude for time also reduces regret. Regret grows from unconscious living. When the mind is present, choices are deliberate. Even mistakes become lessons instead of burdens. Awareness turns time into a teacher rather than a judge. The Stoic aims not for a perfect past, but for a mindful present. Many allow their time to be controlled by external demands. Noise, opinions, and endless tasks consume attention. Gratitude restores ownership. It reminds the mind that attention is a choice. You may not control what appears in your life, but you control what receives your focus. Protecting time means protecting the mind. There is also gratitude in limitation. If time were endless, urgency would disappear. Meaning would fade. Mortality gives weight to action. Knowing time is limited encourages care in speech, patience in conflict, and seriousness in effort. Gratitude for time includes gratitude for its boundaries. Boundaries give shape to life. The Stoic reflects on death not as an obsession but as a guide. Death clarifies priorities. It exposes trivial concerns and elevates essential ones. When time is seen as finite, small annoyances lose power. Gratitude grows because each moment becomes valuable by contrast. This awareness does not darken life, it makes it vivid. Time also connects to responsibility. Each moment unused is a moment unrecovered. Blaming others for wasted time is pointless. Responsibility returns power to the individual. Gratitude strengthens this sense of responsibility by focusing on what remains rather than what is gone. The past cannot be changed, but the present can be directed. Rest is also a use of time. Gratitude does not demand constant activity. Rest restores clarity and strength. Wasting time is not the same as resting. Rest has purpose. It prepares the mind and body for effort. Gratitude helps distinguish between the two. It allows rest without guilt and effort without resentment. Time spent in anger is time lost. Anger consumes attention and leaves nothing useful behind. The Stoic learns to let go quickly, not because offense is unreal, but because time is precious. Gratitude for time weakens the hold of resentment. It asks whether this emotion deserves minutes of your life. Each morning is a reminder that time has been returned to you again, not as a reward but as a responsibility. Gratitude for time does not guarantee success or comfort, it guarantees awareness. Awareness guides choice. Choice shapes character. Character determines the quality of the life lived within whatever time remains. People are part of the natural order. Just as weather changes and seasons shift, human behavior varies. Some are kind, some are careless, some are difficult. Expecting all people to act according to your standards is unrealistic. The Stoic prepares the mind for this truth each day. Gratitude for people begins with understanding, not approval. Every person you meet reflects something about human nature. Those who act well show what is possible. Those who act poorly reveal what must be guarded against within yourself. In this way, all people become teachers. Gratitude turns encounters into lessons rather than sources of frustration. Learning is always within your control. Difficult people test patience. They expose where the mind is still reactive. Without them, self-control would remain unproven. It is easy to be calm among calm people. It is harder and more meaningful to remain steady among those who provoke. A gratitude for this testing strengthens discipline and reduces anger over time. Many conflicts come from misunderstanding. People act based on their own beliefs, fears, and experiences. They do not see the world as you do. Recognizing this reduces personal offense. Gratitude grows when you see behavior as the result of ignorance rather than malice. This perspective does not excuse harm, but it prevents hatred. The Stoic remembers that others are not obstacles placed to ruin the day. They are fellow travelers dealing with their own struggles. Everyone carries unseen burdens. Gratitude for people includes patience with their limitations. This patience is not weakness. It is clarity. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. There is also gratitude for those who support and encourage. It is easy to overlook steady presence and focus only on irritation. Gratitude corrects this imbalance. It recognizes loyalty, effort, and goodwill where they exist. This recognition strengthens bonds and reminds the mind that not all interactions are adversarial. People also reflect your own character. How you treat others reveals what you value. Gratitude keeps behavior aligned with virtue. It reminds you that integrity matters even when no reward is offered. Acting justly toward others is its own benefit. It preserves self-respect. Not everyone will understand you. Seeking constant approval leads to disappointment. Gratitude for people includes acceptance that disagreement is natural. You can learn from opposing views without surrendering your own principles. This balance prevents bitterness and maintains openness of mind. Some people will leave your life. Some will disappoint you. Attachment creates suffering when it demands permanence. Gratitude tempers attachment by appreciating the role people play without insisting they stay forever. This approach allows connection without fear. It accepts change as part of human relationships. The Stoic does not try to control others. Control creates tension and resentment. Influence begins with example, not force. Gratitude shifts focus inward. Instead of wishing others were different, you focus on acting well regardless of their behavior. This restores power to where it belongs. Even those who cause harm can teach restraint and justice. They remind you of the importance of boundaries and reasoned response. Gratitude does not mean tolerating abuse. It means learning without becoming corrupted by anger. Maintaining virtue in the presence of wrongdoing is a higher test. Human interaction is unavoidable. Isolation is not strength. Learning to live well among others is part of the Stoic path. Gratitude makes this possible. It transforms irritation into observation and conflict into practice. Through this lens, every person encountered becomes part of your training in wisdom, patience, and self-command. Virtue is the only possession that cannot be taken away. Everything else depends on chance, circumstance, and the will of others. Health can fade, wealth can vanish, reputation can turn, but how you choose to act remains yours. The Stoic builds life around this truth. Gratitude for the chance to act with virtue each day anchors the mind in what is truly secure. Every morning presents choices. To speak honestly or to lie for comfort, to act fairly or to take advantage, to remain calm or to give in to impulse. These choices may seem small, but they shape character over time. Gratitude reminds the mind that having the opportunity to choose well is itself a gift. Not everyone is aware of this power. Awareness creates responsibility. Virtue is not abstract. It appears in daily actions. Patience when interrupted, courage when facing discomfort, justice when dealing with others, self-control when desire pushes for excess. These moments often go unnoticed by the world, but they are noticed by the self. Gratitude for these moments strengthens commitment to them. Many measure success by results. Stoicism measures success by intention and effort. Outcomes are uncertain. Actions guided by virtue are within control. Gratitude shifts focus from winning to acting rightly. This removes fear of failure and pride in success. It stabilizes the mind regardless of external conditions. Acting with virtue does not guarantee ease. It may bring resistance, misunderstanding, or loss. Gratitude prepares the mind for this reality. It values integrity over comfort. Choosing what is right over what is easy strengthens self-respect. Self-respect builds inner peace that does not depend on approval. Virtue also simplifies decision-making. When the mind is guided by clear principles, confusion decreases. Gratitude for this clarity reduces anxiety. You no longer chase every option or fear every mistake. You ask only whether an action aligns with reason and character. This question cuts through complexity. The Stoic understands that no one is perfect. Mistakes will happen. Gratitude includes forgiveness toward the self. Learning replaces self-punishment. Each day offers another chance to align actions with values. This continuous effort matters more than flawless performance. Acting with virtue improves relationships. Trust grows when words and actions match. Even when others do not respond in kind, consistency preserves dignity. Gratitude for the ability to remain principled prevents bitterness. You act well because it is right, not because it guarantees reward. Virtue also protects against regret. Looking back, you may wish circumstances were different, but you will not wish you acted unjustly. Gratitude for this long-term peace outweighs short-term gain. It keeps the mind oriented toward what endures. There is strength in knowing that nothing external can force you to act against your values. Even under pressure, choice remains. Gratitude for this inner freedom empowers resistance to corruption and fear. It affirms that character is not a victim of circumstance. Each day is incomplete until actions are examined. Reflection reinforces gratitude. You see where you acted well and where you can improve. This practice sharpens awareness and renews intention. Gratitude turns reflection into motivation rather than self-criticism. To live virtuously is to live in agreement with reason and nature. Gratitude for the chance to do so each day gives life coherence. It aligns thought, word, and action into a single direction. Through this alignment, the mind finds stability even when the world does not. The present moment is the only place where life happens. The past exists only in memory. The future exists only in imagination. Yet the mind often abandons what is real to chase what is gone or what has not arrived. This habit creates anxiety and regret. Stoicism trains the mind to return to now again and again. Gratitude for the present moment restores clarity. Most suffering is mental travel. The mind replays what should have been said, what should not have happened, what might go wrong. These thoughts do not change reality, they only drain strength. Gratitude interrupts this cycle. It anchors attention in what is directly in front of you. Breathing, standing, listening. These simple acts bring the mind back to stability. The present moment does not need to be perfect to be sufficient. It only needs to be real. Waiting for ideal conditions delays peace. The Stoic does not wait. Gratitude teaches acceptance of what is. Acceptance is not surrender, it is alignment with reality. From alignment comes effective action. Being present improves judgment. When the mind is scattered, decisions become impulsive or fearful. Presence sharpens perception. You see what needs to be done without exaggeration or avoidance. Gratitude for the moment clears mental clutter and restores reason. The present moment is also where control exists. You cannot act in the past. You cannot act in the future. Action is always now. Gratitude highlights this truth. It reminds you where power actually resides. Not in wishing, not in worrying, but in responding to what is currently happening. Many overlook ordinary moments because they seem insignificant. This creates dissatisfaction. Life feels empty because attention is always elsewhere. Gratitude corrects this by noticing what is usually ignored. Quiet, movement, light, stillness. These are not distractions. They are life itself. Presence reduces fear. Fear lives in imagined outcomes. When attention stays with what is happening now, fear loses ground. Gratitude steadies the mind and keeps it from running ahead. Calm becomes possible even in uncertainty. Being present also improves relationships. When attention is divided, listening is shallow. Gratitude brings full awareness to interaction. You hear what is said, you notice tone and expression. This deepens understanding and reduces conflict. Presence is a form of respect. The Stoic understands that the present moment is always changing. Trying to hold it creates tension. Gratitude allows it to pass naturally. You observe without clinging. This flexibility prevents frustration when circumstances shift. Adaptation becomes easier. Pain is easier to bear in the present. When pain is combined with anticipation or memory, it multiplies. Gratitude narrows focus to the immediate experience. The mind deals with what exists, not what it fears will continue. Endurance increases. Even routine tasks gain meaning when done with presence. Walking, eating, working. When attention is fully engaged, these actions become expressions of discipline. Gratitude transforms repetition into practice rather than boredom. The present moment also reveals impermanence. Everything arises and fades. Gratitude accepts this flow instead of resisting it. Acceptance brings peace. Resistance creates struggle. Returning to the present is a practice, not a single act. The mind will wander. Gratitude brings it back without frustration. Each return strengthens awareness. Over time, presence becomes more natural. To stay present is to meet life directly, without filters of fear or desire. Gratitude keeps the mind grounded where it belongs. In this grounded state, thought becomes clearer, emotion steadier, and action more deliberate. This is where calm lives. This is where strength is found.